What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Make Every Second Count Live with me, your host and international Make Every Second Count speaker, Jeff Marconette Jr. Now, my background is I was involved in a serious car accident. I was actually hit by a semi. I spent 2.5 months in a coma and 3.5 in the hospital. Now, I don't want you to look over what I just said because it's kind of a big deal. I spent 2.5 months in a coma. So if I can do it, you can do anything you want to. So tonight we're actually going to have a special here teaching you a little bit about stress, anxiety, and depression with my friend Andrew. So I would like to bring him up to the stage. And I ask you guys if you would please share this video out, invite other people to watch this video, or share it in all kinds of groups. Just spam it all over Facebook. That's fine with me. And then please give us thumbs up, hearts, likes, whatever you want to give us, because we love all that interaction. And if you have any questions, remember that we want to have a conversation instead of making a presentation. So if you are suffering from one of these illnesses or disorders, please let us know how we can help you, because here on Make Every Second Count Live, we're here for you. My fans, my gems, as certain people I know are gems. Well, most people I know are gems. But hey, so I will let you go ahead and take it away, Andrew. But I am going to pull this up on my phone while you are introducing yourself, and that way I'll be able to welcome people on the program. All right?
Yeah, you want me to tell them a little bit about the childhood or where you
No,
were?
just go ahead and tell them your name, where you're from, what you do, and more importantly, why you do what you do.
All right. So I'm Andrew S. Oaks. My mission is stress relief. And I grew up a little rough, and I had stress, anxiety, and depression, major anxiety, major depression my entire life. I thought it was part of my DNA because most of my family around me have it. My mom, especially my maternal side. And I always thought it was part of my DNA. But whenever I was able to escape it through an introspective look into my life and figure out my interactions with it, and then I started looking at other people around me and watching their interactions with the same disease that I was crippled with, I managed to beat it. And when I managed to beat it, it was like, this big black cloud of darkness was stuck on top of me. I mean, it was so heavy and dark. I wanted to die from my earliest memories. I wanted to die every day of my life. And it
Ooh.
was just one time a day. It was all day long. I could be at a birthday party, and that was the thought that was going through my head. Before I got better, I was drinking 3 to 5 nights a week till blackout drunk. I was a functioning alcoholic, but I was still trying to drink enough where I wouldn't wake up. It never worked out, and I'm thankful for that. But once I escaped and the light came on in my life, when that dark cloud started to leave, when I could see that little glimmer, I started to chase it. And when I started to chase it, my life started getting so much brighter. The anxiety and the depression went away without medication. And what I learned and what I teach now turns the light on for other people. And the reason why I do what I do is because when you see that light turn on inside of somebody else, there is no greater feeling in the entire world when you can restore hope and give somebody a better vision for their future to make them believe in their better future, their better selves. Man, it's gold. It is the greatest feeling a person can feel.
That is awesome. So you were talking that you wanted to die every day of your life. Now that is crazy. But how exactly did you? What was going through your head that you wanted to die?
Well, it was a series of events at a very young age. Is when my mom, well, you already had, you know, the bullying system, right? So the boys are like, hey, they'll call you homophobic names if you do anything to show weakness, right? So you have, and listen, I'm not making fun of anybody. Just I'm utilizing the language that was thrown at me as a young boy, which was faggot and queer and things like that. And that came from my peers, it came from my brother and my sister. But the worst part of all, it came from my own mother. My own mother. She's supposed to love me, and she did love me the best she could. But she seen weakness and she would utilize these things. And I felt like my sensitivity made me weak. I felt like my sensitivity, my passion for. So one of the issues was I like Boys to Men. I like jazz music.
So
And I
did I. Boys, men's awesome.
Yeah, man, dude. And I just struggled to take ownership and be me. So I wasn't myself. And I always tried to mask it and try to be this really tough guy because I just, I like flowers. And like, I didn't want anybody else to know that I love flowers. I see those like beautiful trees in bloom and I'm like, oh my God, it just lights my soul on fire. It never hurt anybody for me to love that. It didn't make me any weaker to love those things, but I didn't realize it. And I just became this really manly, tough guy. Like I became an alligator hunter. I killed a 12-foot alligator. It weighed 545 pounds. I put it in a 14-foot John boat with me. Okay. So I had all these crazy hardcore habits. I had my own farm. I was raising sheep. I was raising goats. We were raising pigs and we were butchering them, putting our own meat, our own organic meat. And we were doing all these things. And I was a railroader by trade. That was my job, was a railroader. So I'm just this real big, tough guy. I'm like not letting anything in. And that's when I realized that wasn't me. It wasn't me. I was like, who are you? Why are you this? Well, all my friends are hunters. All my friends are this. And all my friends are tough guys. Why am I being this guy? I'm like, no, 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 no. Take back your sensitivity, man. It's okay to feel passion and love for others. It's okay to hurt for the homeless guy that's out there. It's okay to do these wonderful things. Be passionate. I got flowers tattooed on me now. So like I'm taking ownership of me. So when I learned to become me, man, did I learn a lot.
That is awesome. And I just wish that more people could accept themselves as themselves and they don't try to be other things all the time because those other things can really screw us up. But now I want to welcome a few people that are watching with us. So, hi to my Aunt Terry. Hi to Mindy. Hi to my dad. Hi to Brittany. Hi to Marilyn. Hi to Sarah. Hi to Amy. And then hi to Nicole. And we hope you guys are enjoying this. And we ask you if you would please share this video out. It can help somebody. I guarantee that. Somebody that is suffering from one of these 3 disorders or many other things. So I ask you if you would definitely please share this out. But I want to ask you now, like, what is stress? What is anxiety?
So anxiety is rooted in stress. Anxiety and depression are rooted in stress. Stress is the beginning. And what stress is I tell people often to appreciate stress. See, we often hate stress or blame stress for some of the negative drags in our life. But if we look at what stress is, it came to save you. It didn't come to hurt you. So say if you are really tired and you just get home from work and you're dirty, so you have to go take a shower. You might have barely any energy. Maybe you have to go up the stairs. You pull back the shower curtain and you barely have the energy to really do much. You're very lethargic in your motions. But then you hop in the shower and you turn on the water. Ice cold water comes flying out of the shower head and hits your skin. All of a sudden, that same lethargic body has the reaction skills of a ninja. You reach that real fast and you get the shower head, if it's a detachable one, you point it away from your body, or maybe it's a fixed one to the wall. So you duck underneath it, in the little zone with no water, or you grab the shower curtain, you put it between you and in the water, or you hop out. So what happened there was your brain met a discomfort, and it's very important that we understand that part. Your brain met a discomfort, so it created the energy necessary for you to remove the discomfort from your life. So brain meets discomfort, fills body with energy. Stress. Stress is an emotion. It's just like love. Think about your favorite sports car. Think about your favorite person. You feel love. You can feel it tingling. You can feel the energy. That's the same thing. Stress is an emotion. Energy in motion. You can feel it. So brain meets discomfort, fills body with the energy it needs to remove the discomfort. The brain doesn't know the difference between the cold water on your skin or an alligator biting your leg. It has no clue. It has no separation. All it realizes, discomfort filled body with stress. So what happens is it's filling up your body with stress, and it's important that you utilize the stress to remove the discomforts from your life. And I'm going to utilize this balloon here. So the idea is people feel this stress as a pressure. We feel this pressure coming down on us. And I'm going to just mention a whole bunch of discomforts. And as I mention a discomfort, I'm going to push more air into this balloon. So I bang my knee on the dresser. So my pants are too tight. My underwear is crawling up my butt. I have a hair tickle in my face during a board meeting. I put my cup in the center console of the car and it's sticky. And then I bring that cup in and I put it down on my desk and it leaves a ring on some important paperwork. So as we continue to experience stress, what's happening is our body's pushing more and more energy in. And what happens, so as this grows and gets bigger, how much air do you think I can dump into this balloon before I start to experience anxiety? Because I'm scared it's all going to blow up in my face. What's happened when stress evolves into anxiety? In my philosophy, sudden comfort, the person usually lacks a target. The brain wants to know where it is going. The person also lacks hope and faith in a better future. And they actually do the opposite of what hope and faith is. They worry. Worry is like praying for what we do not want. So we don't have hope and faith for the better future. And the third and last thing is we don't have a system for removing the discomfort from our life that is creating the stress. So we're terrified that, say, next week, another discomfort's going to come and it's going to blow my balloon up. So it's gonna pop, it's gonna blow up, it's gonna explode. That's where the anxiety is coming from. So what we can do to solve it, what we can do to remove some of the anxieties, the depression, the stress from our life, is to start working on some of the little discomforts. Now it seems that moving the dresser that you keep banging your knee on, maybe that doesn't seem like it's going to help you. But if we look at as an overall collective inside this balloon, if you remove some of the little discomforts and you pull them out, then what happens is you leave a little bit of space for the serious stuff. And if something does come along, well, you don't feel that tremendous pressure. You don't feel that tremendous anxiousness because you don't worry about it blowing up, because you have capacity, extra capacity in there. So you have extra tolerance sitting inside of your balloon. So it's important to kind of remove those discomfort from your life, and that's really how you take back control.
Wow, that really puts it into perspective that everybody can understand. And I happen to like that example because that example is awesome. It shows you those little things that are adding up, the little stressors that are adding up to create that anxiety. And then once you notice what those are, once you realize what those are, they're much easier to release. And I thank you for that. But you explained stress and anxiety. Now I know I didn't ask you about it, but what is depression?
Okay, so depression is a little step further. It's knowing that you can do something about it, and or you know that you can have a better life, you know that you could be a better person, and never doing it. You know that you can remove some of the stress from your life, but you just won't. That's where that inner turmoil, that inner depression, that depression is self. It's about the self. It's the performance of self that is really, but it's all tied to the stresses in our life. Depression is followed from the stress if you're not doing something about getting better, if you're not doing something about getting closer to your better life. Because in life, we're designed to grow. We're supposed to grow. And if we don't grow, we start to rot.
Hang on 1 minute. Let me see if I'm catching on here. So, if we fail to identify those things that are causing that balloon to get bigger, an example, the stresses in life, if we fail to identify them and let that air out of the balloon, that is eventually going to add up to depression.
It does. And it's your performance around it. So try to think of it as an example. I'm a picture guy. So if
Sorry, I just like things to be clear on this
yeah,
show because I want people to actually be able to take tools away from this show.
it's self-performance. So it's self-performance knowing that you are degrading. You know, if you're not growing, you're degrading. You're starting to fall down. It's when you're not keeping the promises to yourself. It's like I'm going to do something about this discomfort, right? I'm going to do you don't really logically think of about it like that, but I'm going to do something about this discomfort. I promised myself I'm going to do this. I'm going to lose the 20 pounds. But what happens is we start to break the promises to ourselves. And when we break the promises to ourselves, we're creating even more discomfort. So it's becoming this spiral, this loop. And it's essentially our performance of getting our better life, our performance of removing the discomforts, our performance of allowing the stresses to remain, even though we know we can do a lot about most of them, but we just don't, because most of the time we're distracting from looking at our own discomforts.
All right. So let's say that somebody is having a hard time at work.
Okay.
Their boss is getting on their back quite a bit because they aren't performing as well as they know they can be, and their boss knows they can be. So how can that stress starts to build when they're not performing as well as they know they can be? How can people deal with that stress so it doesn't go into anxiety and it doesn't get down the road to depression in the long run?
Well, one sense is, you're not there and you're not carrying a smile for the paycheck that you're making. You're not carrying a smile for the boss that's being a jerk. You're carrying a smile for you. You're carrying an effort, and you're going to put in 101% effort, not for the boss, not for the company, not for the wage that you make. You're putting that in because you are going to leave more value on the table, and you will eventually be rewarded for that value. Say maybe the next customer that you talk to that you're smiling, Maybe that's your next business partner for an entrepreneurial deal, or maybe he wants you to be the head of his facility. So you're going to still put in great effort, and we got to realize there's some external things that we can do stuff about, and there's some external things that we cannot do things about. It's when you're looking at the discomforts that you're going to remove or fix in your life, you're not looking at the news. You can't change politics. You can't change some of the terrible stats that are out there. You have to look at what you can do something about, your little circle of influence. Stephen R. Covey says imagine a giant circle, and that's your circle of concern. But inside of that circle of concern is this little bitty dot, and it's your circle of influence. Only focus on the things that you can do something about. I thought that the world was against me. I thought the world hated me. In third grade, they put me on Ritalin. It was the highest dose, and I thought everybody hated me because I was a talkative and a hyper kid. I was always nice. I was loving. I was caring, but I was talkative. I was never bad. I mean, I wasn't bad. But so what happened was I thought that nobody loved me. I thought the whole entire world hated me. And it was the weirdest thing. I became somebody else. I still, had those illusions, those issues. And what it was truly is I had a disappointment in who I was. I was in a disappointment with who I had become. Some of these things shaped me, some of these things hurt me, but I allowed them to carry on. And when I allowed them to carry on, the reason why that was is because I learned that I rewarded them, especially with devices, smoking cigarettes, drinking caffeine, things like that. But ultimately, when I changed myself, this is the big aha. When I changed who I was, when I changed myself, when I changed my performance in my own life and took care of the things that I could take care of around me and stopped worrying about that big circle of concern, everyone else in the circle changed. Even my boss.
That is amazing. Now, I want to point out that I say a lot of times that change always starts with us, and anything that we want to change out there in the world, guess what? We don't have to change what's out there. We only have to change what's in here. So change your thoughts, change the way you're thinking, change the people that are around you. It's pretty amazing because, like you said, Andrew, that you had a drinking problem. Well, I had a drinking problem too. I used to go out every night, Monday through Friday, including Saturday and Sunday. I would go out every single night, 7 days a week, and I would get drunk. Look, if I wasn't, you said you were a blackout drunk. If I wasn't throwing up by the end of the night, I was doing something wrong, because that's the way I wanted to do it. I wasn't going out just to hang out with friends. I was going out to drink, to get drunk, to deal with the stress that was inside of me.
Yeah.
And the other stuff that was inside of me. And I finally got to the point that I realized that, hey, this isn't really helping me. It's a crutch. And unless I changed, then nothing around me was going to change. And it was pretty amazing. So I happen to like everything that you said tonight. And you said to me, we talked on the phone, and you said stress is, oh man, stress is a showing you that you have a discomfort in life, and it is trying to give you the energy to get back to comfort. Now, see, I think stress, the way you have taught me about it, is a tool.
It is.
It doesn't have to be a thing that adds to your life or subtracts from your life, but it can be a thing that adds to your life, correct?
That's it. And if you learn to utilize it in a proper way, so I beat anxiety and I beat depression. Like I had it bad. I mean, it is as bad. I mean, I would get panic attacks. I had it bad. I would have to go chain smoke cigarettes. I had anxiety really, really bad. Like depression, it was always there. It lived with me. It was in the darkness, that was the only constant I had. That was the only constant friend I had was in anxiety and depression. They were parts of me. Only enemy that stayed constant, I guess. But so stress is a reward in a sense because it says that you are enough. But the problem with what we're doing is we're seeking relief for our stress in a way that is not conducive to removing the discomfort. So say if you really badly have to pee, that's a discomfort. But instead of going pee, you go outside and smoke a cigarette. So, or if better yet, you're driving, right? So you're driving. I still have my little blowed up balloon here. So you're driving. You're driving in the car, and you have to pee, but you don't have a gas station or something, so you don't have to pull over. But you know that you have the energy, remember, because the brain meets a discomfort. You have to pee. That's the discomfort. You're dancing in your seat. That's that extra energy. Think about it. You roll down the window to blow the wind in your face to distract you, right? Or you smoke the cigarette. It's the same thing we do when we're trying to relieve stress in alcohol or relieve stress in cigarettes. We're trying to distract from the pressure. We're trying to seek relief, a little bit of relief, but you smoke the cigarette and you still have to pee. So you're not actually doing something about it. And what you're creating is called the discomfort loop. So say if somebody feels, and this is for me, this is what I was doing. And that's the reason why I quit all my vices. I quit drinking, quit smoking, quit chewing my nails. I lost 76 pounds. I quit every vice I had within a month from each other. I used to play video games 8 to 10 hours a day. Okay. And I was always all in type person. Quit every vice I had, quit watching TV, always had to have music playing or always had to have noise or something because I was scared of my thoughts. I quit every single vice on the back that I realized that every time I felt anxiety or depression, I would go smoke a cigarette or I would go drink a beer. I'm like, wait a second. I'm rewarding the discomfort. Not only am I rewarding the discomfort, here comes the discomfort loop. So you seek relief in the cigarette. Then here's the problem. It dumps more. So think about it. You smoke the cigarette. It costs money. It stinks. Your wife hates it. You have to go to the doctor now because you got high blood pressure. Got to go to the CVS because now you got to go get that medicine. That's even more money. You're standing in line at CVS or your favorite pharmacy there. And guess what? The lady in front of you is now paying with a check, or maybe she's paying with change. So what happened, the thing you seek relief in is now pumping more air into your balloon without ever removing any air from it. So this balloon is the reference of your life, and everybody has a different capacity. So it's important that you understand your capacity too. Go back to your bladder. Everybody has a different capacity. Some people can make it like my dad, okay? For example, he can go all the way from South Carolina to Mississippi and never pee. The man is a champion. When we traveled as a kid, man, insane. My sister, opposite end of the spectrum, every hour and a half, that girl had to pee. Even when they said, you're not drinking anything in the morning when we wake up, you're not drinking anything on the trip, you can have one sip, still had to pee. Everybody's capacity is different, so you got to understand your capacity. But seeking relief will not remove the discomfort from your balloon if you're using say a vice or a coffee or something like that. In fact, what we do is we coach ourselves into believing that we need these vices to be okay. How about the lady that says, I'm a B word if I don't have my morning coffee? So don't talk to me before I have my coffee. In her head, she is coaching herself to believe the only way that she cannot be a B word is if she has that coffee. So what she's doing is walking into the world as soon as she wakes up, feeling like she is not whole. It's not a far jump. It's not a big leap for us to realize that if you don't feel whole without something, you will start to feel like the world is happening to you and not for you. You won't feel like you have any control of the great destiny in your life when you do. you have all the control just by changing your mindset. We'll jump back to what you said about mindset and the assignment of meaning that you attach to some of your memories. If you think about this, the memories of my mom calling me a faggot and a queer, they used to kill me. The fact that they wanted to mute me because I was such this talkative person, and they put me on the highest dose of medicine, and I was a zombie. All those things used to haunt me, but now they lift me up because I've changed the assignment of meaning to them, because it allows me to help other people. And when I change the assignment of meaning, it no longer creates a discomfort in my brain. It no longer creates a discomfort. See, flip back. One more thing I'll drop on you is when your brain meets the discomfort, fills the body with stress energy, everybody says, hey, I don't have motivation or inspiration. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's the stress. That's your motivation. You got to use it.
Yeah. So learning how to use your stress is key, right?
Yes, it is.
So how can people learn how to use that stress as energy?
Well, know your triggers. So how do you, what creates a stress, right? So if I do this, right, I pull on this. So that noise, if I did it for a long time, I'm sure it would offend and bother everybody here. It would create a discomfort. Some people, it created a discomfort right away. Maybe they had a brother, a stepbrother that would squeal balloons and punch them. So our backstory, our current beliefs, our perception of what's going on in life, our current moment, our current happenings around us create these different kind of maps and models of the world. So there's so many different things that you can work on to help yourself not see these things as a discomfort. And you go back to the assignment of belief. Or assignment of meaning. Assignment of meaning is if you can change. So if something bad's happening to you and you're like getting stressed out, you're getting angry, try to avoid going into that state, because you're like, you know what? This is happening because I'm supposed to be tested, but I'm getting better. This is just the world testing me, and I'm going to continue to do good, and I'm going to continue, instead of getting upset, I'm going to do twice as good. I'm going to do even more. I'm not going to go backwards. Things like that.
That is wonderful advice. Now, I know we're running a little long tonight, and I happen to love this topic, and I think we came up with a great show tonight, and I know it will help people out there. But I'm curious if you have any contact information for the people that didn't get to ask their question while on this show.
Yeah, reach out. I'll help anybody. I have 15-minute free sessions. Just go to my website, Stress Relief HQ. If you're stressed out, come out, reach to me. If you don't want to talk to somebody, here's a tool that I can give you to carry on moving in life. If you're really stressed out, you're depressed, or if you're anxious and you're having that bad moment, like the crushing, you just can't take it anymore. Put your hand in front of your face. Put your shoulders back. Stand up and feel your breath. If you can feel your breath, okay, you have made it through 100% of the adversities. You have made it through 100% of the hard times. You have made it through 100% of everything you've ever worried about. You're a winner. You're just not there yet mentally to pick it up. You are a winner. Utilize this philosophy and remove some of the small discomforts from your life. It seems silly, but if your bathroom mirror is covered in toothpaste, clean it if it bothers you. If it doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. But if it does create discomfort from your life, put in that little extra effort to dump off these 15 and 20-minute tasks and just get them out of your life. Everybody feels so much better after a long day of putting in great effort and doing chores. The house feels better. It just feels better. You're being rewarded because your brain is like, yes, you're removing the discomforts from your life. And I'll explain that in another analogy as well, is think about it really when you have to pee. That's the discomfort. You really, really badly have to go. And you're driving home and there's traffic. You finally make it home and you're dancing around, right? You're doing the pee-pee dance. You barely can get the key in the door. You can barely get in and barely get it in. You rush into the house and you start to pee. As soon as you start peeing, you're like, that's relief. That's the moment comfort just showed back up. See, you were in a state of solid discomfort up until that point. But as soon as comfort started coming back in, it didn't wait until you was done peeing to say, it happened. That moment of relief happened right at the beginning. So you might think that you were in the darkest place of your life. Tomorrow can be 100% better if you would just put in the effort to remove some of those little discomforts and kind of purge, just as if you're starting to pee.
That is wonderful advice. Now, I'm not telling everybody to go to the bathroom right now or anything like that. And I do want to say that we are not doctors. We are just people. And he has dealt with this stuff, and I help people through some things. But if you're in real trouble, go seek medical help. Go see a professional about this stuff, because I don't want it on me if you go hurt yourself. That's just not good. So
no, seek help and don't feel deflated if you need help. They don't teach us this stuff in school. No, they don't teach us anything about emotional intelligence in school. Heck, they don't teach us anything about finance in school, and we need that. We definitively need emotional intelligence, and they're not giving it to us in school. So don't feel like you're a failure if you have to go seek help. No. You're better than that. You're a hero. You're becoming the hero in your story when you seek help. Can you imagine the people that you're going to be able to help from your story? Can you imagine how important you're going to be in other people's lives? How significant that is, that you're going to be there for the next guy? Do you know how big that is? Definitely seek advice. Don't feel that fear or that judgment. Do the things that are necessary.
Yeah, Les Brown actually says that sometimes we need to ask for help and keep asking for help, and don't stop until we get that help, because that help will let us remain strong. So don't be afraid to ask for help if you need help. And I know people sometimes need help, so ask for help. But I need you guys, including you, Andrew, to do me a favor. I need you to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when those seconds are going to run out on your one life. Hey, I'm Jeff Marconette Jr., the award-winning international Make Every Second Count speaker, reminding you that you only get one life. So ask for help and remain strong. And until next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be thinking of you. Andrew, any final words?
No, man, I think we covered a pretty good show.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for being my guest, taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with me and my guests or my viewers.
I appreciate you too, man. I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate everybody that joined, that were spending their time, trading their time to get better and learn a little bit of stuff.